Hello! Today I will be reviewing a game of Pipeline that I played recently on Board Game Arena, where I ended up with my personal record score in the game. It was in the 1700s. And I just want to talk about my reasoning throughout the game, as well as what I think might be going through the heads of my opponents and my kind of thought process as I played this game. So we start off with the beginning of the game, and the game starts with of course, sorry, the game starts and we have a lot of things to look at. We have a lot of information. We have the initial pipes that are out on the board. We have the four quadrants, we have the refinement values, we have the valuations, we have the upgrades, we have the shops, pipes, and that's about all of the and the positioning of the actions is kind of trivial, but it's relevant to gameplay. So we start this game, we're green in this scenario, and we are in the second position in turn order. Turn order in Pipeline is kind of it's both a very easy and very hard puzzle. So the goal of turn order in Pipeline is you want to be last in turn order up until the last turn of a year. Then you want to push yourself first, and then you want to keep pushing yourself to last place. Now, it's not always possible, because the person in last position always has the opportunity to take whatever position in turn order they want. So as long as you end the second to last turn of a year with last place turn order, then you are guaranteed to be able to get to the first turn of the year with first turn order. Now, that's just general Pipeline stuff. So we're in the second position, which bodes a little bit better for us than first position, but not as good as third position. You'll see that it won't actually matter, because I think that the players we played with didn't really understand the turn order puzzle, or just didn't care. Let's take a look at the valuations. The value of pipelines attached to machines is part of every single game of Pipeline, and it essentially means that if you attach a machine to a pipeline, you're going to be counting its value twice. Okay? We also have the value of pipelines valuation, which means that we're going to be counting the value of our pipelines 3 times if they're attached to machines, or twice if they're not. Value of fulfilled orders. This is a very important valuation, because orders can be worth hundreds of dollars each. In fact, they're almost always worth hundreds of dollars each. And getting multiple orders is going to boost our score by hundreds of dollars. Now, if we take a look at the orders over here, both of these orders can be fulfilled with the same oil, as long as it's, the highest grade. If we can manage to get an engine that makes high-grade oil of all 3 types, we can fulfill both of these orders, and that's a ton of money. Because remember, it's doubled at the end of the game. So the more money we can get through orders, the better. There are few of these orders, and I think by the end of the game, I complete 4 out of the 6 that are available, and only one other player completes one other order. So I did, I think, pretty well on that front. If we look at the upgrades, the ones that stand out to me are government, engineering, and shops. I don't like HR as much, and contracts and orders as much as I like engineering, government, and shops. Government, I think, is the best of them. Government gives you 2 pipes immediately, which I think, which don't need to be connected, so it's got some benefit there. And then every year it gives you a pipe. And if you can get the second and third versions of government, it's just incredible value for money. Engineering, similarly, is going to give you value on your pipelines. The difference between government and engineering, practically, is that government denies your opponent's resources where engineering doesn't. Engineering is also more universally usable, though. Shops is usually a very good upgrade if there is the number of tank tiles, $10 per tank tile valuation, but there isn't. So it's not as good there. But the second part of shops is fairly decent, and I wouldn't want to let somebody else get away with getting that. Contracts and orders is one that I don't actually think is too worth going up the upgrade path for. I think that they realized that in the expansion, and there's a new valuation called specialization that's just the better version of contracts and orders. HR is a very attractive upgrade, but it does not provide you with immediate tangible value. The only problems it can pose is possibly, letting players manipulate turn order too well. So I tend to block it off if I can, but I don't like it as a value proposition. Okay, I kind of got distracted here. Our last valuation that we're going to look at is number of pipelines attached to machines, pipeline types attached to machines. And this is a valuation that gets more valuable. I don't think they actually break it down for you, but it gets more valuable the more different pipeline types. So we are going to be trying to build different lengths of pipeline that fulfill these different refinement values. So let's take a look at the refinement values. It's a good time to. Orange is 466, blue is 455, and gray is 465. So this means that, first of all of them are 4 value to start, which makes it really easy to get a lot of little pipelines. The fact that it's easy to get a lot of little pipelines means that we can get going pretty quickly in this game. In fact, getting refinement values to 2 and refinement values to 3 is not going to be too difficult because 7s aren't in this game. And 7s not being in this game is fine. It's a choice that the person who set up this game made, and I respect it. They are probably newer to the game. Now, these players don't play like they are too familiar with the game, but they play like they are at least somewhat competent at understanding pipe tiles at the very least. So let's start seeing what they do. So our first player does something I really like. He buys those 3 pipes, and if we look at his board, he has built 2 size 4 pipes right off the bat, turn 1. I think this is a brilliant move, but it's not what I would have done because I tend to always go to upgrades first. As you can see, I go to upgrades, I grab government. Now, with the government, I'm going to open up this quadrant. Now, I open up this quadrant because my opponent created a teal and orange. I didn't actually think this hard about it. My opponent created teal and orange. I'm creating gray. I want to build orange off of it. I feel like the silver... I don't need too many more silver pipes, and I kind of deny a lot of this good silver pipe, for the beginning of the game at least, to other players. And I make it harder for players to get things like this pipe and this pipe. Either way, I am not going to take a second upgrade, but I am going to flip HR because of the reasons I said earlier. Next, I choose my turn order. I make an attempt to get last place, and as you can see, this player is also going to go to upgrades. If I can get to his move. Okay, he goes to upgrades and he takes shops. This is not what I would have done, and I think you'll see throughout the game, this player doesn't do the best things throughout this game. They do some interesting moves, and it really does show some of the early game mistakes that players make in this game. And he takes 2 tanks, and he takes a shot pipe. Okay. He blocks off contracts and orders, which we've established isn't a very good upgrade path anyway, leaves open engineering. He changes turn order so that he goes first. It's a common misconception with new players that first in turn order gives you some advantage throughout the game. It really doesn't. What it does is it leaves your turn position up for any other player to determine. So we look at this player. He's going to take some pipe tiles. He takes 3 pipe tiles and ends his turn maintaining his position. This player is going to buy their oil. They buy 2 oranges because, well, they made a very efficient, nice little pipe network. Let's look at this player's pipe network for a second. This player's pipe network is pretty good. It's very easy to turn this into a 10, which is ideal because 10 is double refinement. Anyway, secondary action doesn't do anything. On to me. So nobody's contesting my last place turn order, so I go and buy pipes. What does my pipe network look like now? It's an 8 and a 6. So neither of those are good numbers. We want 10 and 9, which 8 and 6 are not, but we do that nonetheless. Okay, this player is going to go to contracts and loans because they need a loan. I completely understand. I also need a loan in this scenario. And they take a contract. That was a big mistake. Taking a contract this early, and especially in a game with value of fulfilled orders, is a big no-no. You do not want to take a contract when there's value of fulfilled orders out, because it means that you're going to be spending oil constantly on things that aren't orders. Okay, they can change turn order. They're not going to. And now it's the purple player's turn. What did they do? They ran their pipelines. Right. Okay. I'm going to go and take a loan. I do not take a contract. I end my turn maintaining turn order. This player is now going to run their pipelines, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, they're going to buy more pipes. Right. They just took a loan. They bought 1 pipe and they didn't buy any oil yet. So they do complete their level 10 pipe. So they will be on track to complete this contract, but it's still not a good move, right? It's because the contract is so counterproductive. Okay, so purple is going to go to Refined Market 2 and sell their new oil to make their first cash flow. It's a good move in general. They can take a secondary action, but they're not going to because they're next to contracts and loans. I am going to go to the crude market. I'm going to buy my teal and my gray oil. I'm not going to take a secondary action. I'm going to just keep maintaining my turn order as long as they let me. Okay, this player is going to go to contracts and loans again. They're going to take out a second loan. They're not going to do anything else now, and they're going to pass. They're going to maintain their first place turn order. Purple. Okay, they go and sell... No, they go to buy blue oil at Refined Market 1, which is kind of an odd choice, but it makes some semblance of sense because they have an orange oil left. They bought a second orange oil. So they just want to get the cheap oil, especially because I bought some blue oil at... no, I didn't buy blue oil. Did I buy blue oil? Yes, I bought blue oil. I didn't buy orange oil. Okay. So then they're going to spend $10, go to tanks and pipes. They're going to buy a tank, and they're going to buy some pipes, and they're going to make their pipeline better. 5 and 8, still not at double on either of those, but it's still good. Change turn order. They choose to go first for some unknown reason. Okay, I can play or pass. I'm going to run my pipes. Finally, I run and I increase both of my oils. And now these players continue. This player ran their pipelines. This player is going to buy oil. Finally, they buy 2 orange oil and a gray. And that's going to be their turn. I am going to refine my oil again and pass because, again, I had the ability to do that because nobody contested my turn order. And now is when somebody is going to try to contest my turn order, I'm pretty sure, and I'm just going to shut them down. So refine market, they are going to sell their oil. Oh, no, they're going to buy oil. Oh, they also sold. Okay, they sold and then they're buying. Secondary action, they're going to go to machines and pipes. They buy a machine. They activate the machine. And that's the end of their turn. And they try to go last. See? So they sort of understand the game, but they didn't take charge of it early enough. They didn't see the opportunity when I was vulnerable, when I needed to run my pipelines. That was when you needed to do that. Okay, so white is going to run their pipes, and they're going to try to maintain first place turn order. Now, I'm going to refine market 3. I'm going to sell my oil. I'm going to make a boatload of money. I make $85. I'm going to take machines and pipes action. I'm going to buy some pipes. And then I'm going to end my turn going last. And now I have secured first place for the next turn. So we'll see what these players do. They're going to sell oil and buy some oil. They bought oil despite not having a pipeline for that. It's quite odd. They bought another one of an oil that they cannot run. Secondary action, they go to tanks and pipes. They buy some pipes. Hey, look, now they can almost run the oil. Changing turn order, they're attempting to go first. This player goes to refine market 2. Sells some oil. Doesn't take a secondary action. So doesn't even try to take first place here. They know what's up. Well, they don't really, but okay. I go to contracts and loans. I just take a loan, and that's my turn because the next turn is the pinnacle of what needs to happen, right? I go to first in turn order, and this is kind of where I've won the game because I go to upgrades. Oh, I take my pipe, and then I go to upgrades, and I buy both government and engineering. And if we look at the pipe network that I have now, it is very clearly insane. I have, we're going to click play again because I think maybe it'll update. No, it won't update yet. Okay, I go to the crude market. I buy some oil. And then I try to go last again. Okay. If we look at my pipelines, oh, it's still not showing, see? But anyway, my pipes are 25% longer than they appear. And that means that I'm triple refining several of these oil types already, which is insane. I'm going to be filling these orders in no time. You'll see. So this player is taking his 2 from shops. Oh, I also blocked him from getting his second shops upgrade, which is honestly very necessary. Confirming end of turn. Okay. This player is going to buy some pipes. Let's see what his network's looking like. It's not bad. It's got basic refinement for all 3 colors, but it's not got double refinement for any. So, again, I'm just way ahead of these players in pipeline. So, they confirm their end of turn. We go on to the next turn, where this player they buy machines and pipes. Can take a secondary action. They're not going to. They activate their machines. Change turn order. Okay, this player is going to sell some oil, buy oil, and run their machines. So, on my next turn, I'm going to just refine my oil, because we've established that my pipelines are insanely good. So, I refined from crude to this and this. And the next turn, I'm going to go from crude to this and this, which is going to be a very high influx in just money. Okay, this player, going to contracts and loans, takes a contract. Again, it's a very bad idea. This player had to take a penalty cube because they messed up their last contract, and they're taking another that is not a very good contract. Especially because their machine isn't hooked up to anything. I can criticize this player's play, but to be fair, this is his first game on Board Game Arena. That's fine. This might be his first game of Pipeline altogether. So we're not going to criticize him too hard. We're just going to say that these are beginner mistakes, and they're typical for beginner mistakes. They're going to activate the machines, or refine some oil. They can change turn order, but they're not going to. Now it's this player. They're going to go to the crude market and buy some oil. And they're going to activate their machines, which this player right now is... It appears that they're contesting me, but I'm going to tell you why they're not, and it's because I run my machines, and then I fill an order. So now I got $148, and I've still got a high refined gray oil that I can sell. White player is going to buy some pipe, and they're going to try to maintain their... Well, they're not even going to try. They just automatically maintain their turn order. Purple goes to Refine Market 1. Sells, buys. And they're going to go to Tanks and Pipes. They're going to buy some pipes, some tanks. And they're going to activate their machines. Change turn order. They're going to attempt to go last. They saw what they did last turn, trying to go last here. They thought, oh, maybe 2 turns ahead. Nope. I don't stand for that. Okay. I go to tanks, machines, and pipes. I buy a machine. I buy some pipes. I now have the money to not need to worry about turn order anymore. I go to Refine Market 1, and I sell Refine Market 3, and I sell my $50 oil there. I'm right now flying. I bought an orange oil. and I am going to run my machine with it. I bought another orange oil. I'm going to activate my machine just to bring one orange oil up to the max, because it's worth it for me. Okay. And of course I maintained last. So white is going to sell some oil, buy some oil. They're going to go to tanks and pipes, buy some pipes. They did not leave enough money to... Oh, they did. They just refined their oil. Okay. And they try to go last, which, won't work. But at least they're kind of getting this turn order game. White goes to refined market. They're going to keep their money engine going. But their money engine isn't passive enough and not swingy enough. I'm going to buy some oil. I'm going to take a secondary action. I'm not actually going to do anything with it. I just spent $10 to maintain turn order. I'm going to refine my oil. And I'm going to end the turn. Now we go into this again. I have last place turn order on the last turn. So nobody can stop me here. So they go and buy the singular pipe. Oh no, they go to tanks and pipes instead. They buy a tank, they buy the last two pipes there. Take secondary action. So let's take a look at their pipeline right now, because it's quite interesting. So they've got a double silver and they've got a double teal, which is great. That's a perfect start for their pipeline. And their orange is single, but it's getting close to double. Okay, they can buy or sell oil. They're going to buy some teal, buy a refined orange, because that's a good idea to easily fill orders, and you'll see me do that very soon. But white is going to refine market 3, and then he goes to machines and pipes and buys a machine and buys some pipes. No, doesn't buy any pipes, just buys a machine, a second machine. Right, white bought his second machine so that he can run this gray pipeline that he built. Okay, I'm going to go to take a loan, and that's it. It's the same as last year, end of year. I just take a loan to take my turn order. Oh, I also do go to the refined market, and I buy that so that I can fill another order. That was something I did. I activate my machines, and I'm a pretty happy camper here. I go first, I take a pipe, and then I take all of the other pipes. If we take a look at my pipeline networks here, we see that I have a lot, and they are all very good. So next I'm going to take the shops level 1, because I need tanks, and I don't want to overpay for them. And then I'm going to flip over HR again, because I am a fair person. HR is really bad to take in the last year. Okay, I go to the crude market, and I buy up a ton of the oil. Well, ton isn't really. I buy some of the oil. I refine, and I fill another order. Now, I filled 3 orders, and nobody has filled any of the others. I am hundreds of dollars ahead of everybody else in this first turn of the last year. And there's no way they can catch up. But we're going to watch the rest of the game anyway. Okay, I end the turn. White takes his complementary 2 tank tiles, goes to crude market, and runs his machines. Next, it's purples. He's going to refine market. He's going to sell some oil. Buys back his orange oil that was sold there, and some gray oil, so that he can activate his machines and refine them. now it's my turn. I tried to maintain first because I just want the last year to go as quickly as possible. It doesn't really matter turn order in the last year after the first turn. I buy some pipes. I buy another machine. Now we're looking at all of my pipelines are attached to machines, and I have this kind of crazy network. Oh. Okay. Okay, now I go to refine market. I'm going to sell. I'm going to buy. I'm going to run my machines. And I'm going to end my turn. So what I'm doing right now is I am getting a lot of orange oil, and it doesn't matter how refined it is, I'm going to fulfill this order. Because that's just another influx of money that I'm denying the other players. So he does something. He buys some oil. He sold something, maybe. I'm not even paying attention to his moves anymore. He goes to tanks and pipes, buys some pipes, tries to change turn order. It doesn't really make a difference at all. Purple's buying some oil, and then going to upgrades and buying engineering, which is a great thing. I left that open for them to do. I maybe shouldn't have, but, whatever. They buy... what did they do? They just... I don't know what they did. Whatever. Tanks and pipes, that's what they're doing. Okay. They're gonna buy and sell oil, or just buy oil. Okay. My turn. I go to refine market. I'm just selling some of the stuff I made. Then I'm going to fill this order. Oh, no, that's not me. Okay. Now I go to the crude market. I'm going to buy some orange oil and some blue oil. I'm going to activate my machines. Then I'm going to fill this order. Way overfilled. But it was worth doing. Last turn, purple is going to sell some oil. Activate their machines. Yeah. White is going to sell some oil. Activate their machines. I am going to sell some oil. And activate some machines. And that's it. So let's take a look at the valuations. So I ended the game with 1,722 points. The next highest player ended with 736. And this player, who was clearly new, ended with 276. So let's take a look at the valuations here. So if we look at Purple's points for cash, they had $200 in cash, 70 points in oil, 70 points in pipelines, which again is counted 3 times. So not insignificant, but you kind of want that value to be higher. 150 points for value of fulfilled orders, pipelines, $100 for number of pipeline types attached to machines. Again, they did a good job at making efficient pipelines, but they didn't have many. They had 4 pipelines going out of their machines. So they had 4 pipelines total. What the government upgrades allowed me to do is kind of just expand into this stupid, network where I could have all of these different pipelines. See, because if we look at it, I had $400 in cash, I had $80 in oil stock, and then my value of pipelines, which was counted 3 times, is double the amount that person had. So I counted 140 points 3 times. My orders counted for 630 points. That's almost as much as my second best opponent's entire score was 630, and that was just fulfilled orders. That was these 4 fulfilled orders. Don't think I'm joking when I say that this is one of the most important valuations if it shows up in your game. Again, value of pipelines, 280 for number of pipeline types attached to machines. This was, again, because of the government upgrades. I had the ability to push this many pipelines. It's really, you need to check people when they are pushing to get upgrades. For sure, keep people in check and keep yourself on your toes to try to maintain that turn order structure. Okay. I lost $90 for penalty cubes. That's normal. Okay, let's look at the last player. I mean, he didn't get much, and he lost $200 from his 5 loans. The last player didn't do great, but again, I am under the assumption he is new. Either way, I hope this was insightful. I really do think that this was a good game of Pipeline. I think that maybe I would like to see more experienced players who look at strategy guides that I've written up, or players who've come from different metagames that think that they